Good morning, beloveds. Okay. I was watching the women's platform diving, 10-meter platform diving. It's incredible to watch and terrifying at the same time. But these ladies do an amazing job. So, all right. So we are in Science Mind Text. We're in part 5 from the teaching of Jesus. We are starting with, okay, now, because this may be related, where we ended yesterday was on from Matthew 11:27, it's called The Real Father Inside. You know how I feel about that. But what we're starting with today on 444 is the power at the heart of God. Peace is the power at the heart of God. It is through the revelation of the self to the self that one understands life, that they approach the power which is at the heart of God. This comes through a recognition of the unity of the individual with the spirit back of, in, and through all. The problem of philosophy is to unite the infinite with the finite, to join the abstract with the concrete, to find a meeting place between the absolute and the relative, to unify with first cause. The same problem confronts religion and is indeed the whole purpose, to unify people with God. This is also true of science, but from a different angle. Science seeks to join causes with effects, and by so doing, make practical use of the knowledge. Science is really spiritual, while philosophy leads to true religion. Science is the handmaiden of religion and philosophy. There are probably a bunch of scientists that would disagree with that, but we're not going there. All right. So this next section is called The Great Search, and I actually highlighted a line in this. I'll tell you which one. All right. The world seeks a solution of its great riddle, the apparent separation between God and people, between life and what it does, between the invisible and the visible, between the spirit and the child. And until this riddle is solved, there can be no peace. This next line is the one I highlighted and starred, by the way. So I came across it at least twice and thought it was important. Peace is an inner calm obtained through people's knowledge of what they believe and why. Without knowledge, there is no lasting peace. Nothing can bring peace but the revelation of the individual to themselves and a recognition of their direct relationship to the universe. They must know that they are an eternal being on the pathway of life, with certainty behind them, certainty before them, and certainty accompanying them all the way. Peace is brought about through a conscious unity of the personal person with the inner principle of their life. That underlying current flowing from a divine center, pressing ever outward into expression. But this can never come by proxy. We can hire others to work for us, to care for our physical needs, but no one can live for us. This we must do ourselves. So right here, he's because remember where I said the over-intellectual and how they weaponize that? Well, Ernest disagrees with that it's like you need knowledge, but part of that knowledge is experience. It's like you got to go out and do. You got to go out and do. And Ernest even agrees with that. He said you can talk all the theory you want, but until you actually go out and practice this, you haven't gotten it right. So talk all the theory you want. Go do it. Go do it. Go live your life. That's what he's saying. Okay. The need for spiritual experience. Isn't that what I just said? I guess I knew where he was going. It's not like I haven't been doing this for almost 20 years. We need spiritual experience, the first-hand knowledge of life and reality. There is no medium between God and people, nothing between life and living, between heaven and hell, but an idea. But an idea has no real value until it becomes an experience. In conversation, we assume great knowledge of religion and philosophy, but how much do we really experience? We can know only that which we experience. All great religions have taught truth, but it means nothing to us unless it becomes our truth. We need spiritual experience. We shall never know peace until we embody it. We shall never know truth until we become truth. And we cannot know God unless we sense God within our own being. The Spirit is ever giving, but we must take. What life does for us must be done through us. Spiritual experience is deep, calm, and assertive. It is the result of actually realizing that presence, which binds all together in one complete whole. This experience comes in the stillness of the soul, when the outer voice is quiet, when the tempest of human strife is abated. It is a quickening of the inner person to an external reality. Spiritual experience is a fact. Spirituality may be defined as an atmosphere of good, the realization of God. It cannot and does not borrow its light from another. So no matter how great or noble that other may be. Oh, wait. It does not borrow its light from another, no matter how great or noble that other may be. Okay, I added a word that wasn't there. It springs from within, coming from that never-failing fountain of life, which quenches every thirst, whose source is in eternity, the wellspring of self-existence. It is the revelation of the self to the self, putting one back on the track of their own self-dependence on spirit, their own at one mint with reality. Okay. Woof, woof, woof. It's one of those situations of, the description that I've had that when people are trying to define spirituality versus a religion, because science of mind is a spiritual teaching, but it's much more of a philosophy than a religion. And why I say that is because what religion has become, which is not what it was supposed to be, is leaning on somebody else's experience. Okay? It's like, in Christianity's example, they got a hold of Jesus and they said, that's it, nothing else, you know? So they're not going out and having their own experiences. They're just saying, well, Jesus did it this way. So, and Ernest is saying, well, Jesus did it this way. Let's do it that way. You know, so spirituality is having your own experience. And that's why I would say that we're a philosophy rather than a religion, because it's like we go and look at everybody else's experience and we're like, well, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's go have our own experiences with, you know, God, with spirit, with each other. You know, let's go and live our lives. Let's go and treat Jesus as an example and try what he did. You know, maybe we'll never walk on water. Maybe we'll never raise the dead, but we definitely won't be poorer in spirit from having tried. So, that's just one of those things. It's like, okay, let's see. All right. I think I will do that. It's going to end very nicely on the next page. So we'll do the next two sections and then we're going to wrap up for the day. So the cause of human troubles is the section we're doing now. The integrity of the universe cannot be questioned nor doubted. The spirit must be and is perfect. that which is back of everything must be good, must be complete, must be love and harmony. When we are out of harmony with some special good, it is because we are off the track along that particular line of the activity of spirit. But how are we to regain the lost paradise? Only through soul culture and by careful self-analysis. What is my viewpoint of life? That this is a question each should ask themselves. What do I feel my relationship to the great whole to be? What do I believe about the cause back of all? From whence came discouragement, fear, doubt, and calamity? They cannot proceed from the eternal source. That perfect fount of life, the inexhaustible one. Therefore, they must come from my own consciousness. They cannot be born of the truth. The truth is God, and God is free, happy, peaceful, and ever poised in its own being. I must set myself right with the universe. I must find the way back to the central fire. If I am to be warmed, I must find the source if I am to be supplied. I must be like God if I wish to realize God's spirit in my life. A change of consciousness does not come by simply willing it or wishing it. It is not easy to hold the mental attention to an ideal while the human experience is discordant, but it is possible. Knowing the truth is not a process of self-hypnosis, but one of gradual unfoldment of the inner self. And honestly, right now I'm working on something. It's like, okay, I've got this irritation in my life, and I'm like, and it's really starting to get to me, and I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do about this? Because it's on me. It's on me. I am the one who is in disharmony. I am the one who is out of step with, with that. And it's like, okay, so what about this situation can I work on? What do I need to do about it? And so I'm working on it. I've realized that I'm not an oyster. This irritation is not going to become a pearl. So what do I got to do to get it out? But I'm aware of it now. And I'm like, okay, so then that's just it. It's like, I'm going to have to turn within and figure out what it is that I need to do. And mostly it's, remembering who I am, remembering the situation around the irritant, and just letting it go. In all of this, the only person that I can change is me. The only person I can change is me. All right. So we're going to do this last section, and then we're going to wrap up, because this one takes the whole page. It's all right here. So, how to approach the spirit. And maybe this is the advice I need. I don't know. If we wish to come to the spirit for the healing of our wounds, let us come in peace and with spontaneous joy. For the spirit is joy. Let us come with thanksgiving also, for a thankful heart is in harmony with life. But we must come in quiet confidence with an open and receptive mind. A believing heart, naturally, sanely, and expectantly. In this way, we are entering the portals of reality, clad in the garments of righteousness. We often think what we require is money, friends, and the physical healing. After these things, do those who... Okay, hang on. Let me try this again. Sometimes his use of punctuation gets me. All right. After these things, do those who are outside a knowledge of the law seek, and they do well. For we need all these things, but they are the effects of right relationship with life. All people need some form of healing. Most people are unhappy. Few have any realization of permanent peace. We seek fragments. when the whole is at hand. How illogical to think that anything can rise higher than its source. The universe is a perfect, undivided whole, and healing can take place only when one is unified with it. How can anyone then be healed in part? Let us seek wholeness above all else. If we would come to the universal wholeness, we must approach it through the law of its own nature. This means that we must give our undivided attention to the spiritual unit back of all things. Since all else is included within this unit, we find our particular good only through unity with life. This conscious unity makes our mind receptive to completion, since life itself is complete. This perception is always an inner light, for the individual can use only such knowledge as they inwardly possess. In reality, we know God or truth only as we ourselves embody God or truth. And since it is impossible to embody anything outside of ourselves, this knowledge must be an inner light. The truth itself is infinite, but we can only embody the infinite to the degree. To the degree that we embody reality, we become poised and powerful. And honestly, I just read that whole thing and I'm like, what did I just read? Okay. And so that's fair. You know, that may be one of those situations of, it's something that you need to go back and reread, or go back in this case and re-listen to. What did I just say? How to approach me. Basically, what he keeps saying is turn within, turn within, turn within, turn within. Go to the source of your own being. You can read everybody else's experiences. And there are a lot of them out there. I mean, you've got all of Jesus' experiences. You've got John of the Cross. You've got Teresa of Avalon. You've got Hildegard of Bingen. You know, there are all of these mystics out there. I would suggest to you the current Dalai Lama. One of the books that he wrote with Bishop Tutu is about joy. You know, read these books. Read them. They're guideposts. But if you want to embody them, then you have to turn within. Because that's what's between you and spirit. So read all the books, listen to all the things, listen to the passage again. But what Ernest is telling you is, when it is time, you have to practice it yourself. Nobody can do it for you. You have to turn within. You have to go within yourself to the spirit, to the source of your own being, and say, show me who I am. Show me who I am. And be willing to let go of everything that's not you. And there's a whole lot of stuff that the world puts on us that isn't us. That isn't us. You know, and for women in particular, you know, there are standards, you know, and the world likes to say, well, if you don't look this way and you don't act this way, then you're not a woman. And I'm like, what? And there's a trend now. You're starting to see it with men too. We like to call it, there's definitely a toxic femininity. Well, there's a toxic masculinity too, where the world says, well, if you don't do this and you don't say this and you don't act this way, you're not a man. Well, you know what? It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Who you are is between you and God, and not anybody else. And so, in the end, it comes down to the relationship that you have created between your consciousness and the consciousness, between your subconsciousness and the subconsciousness, because your subconsciousness is part of the subconsciousness. You are an individualized center of spirit. You are part of a greater whole. And when you remember that, and you go back to that, anything is possible. At which point I'm going to say no cap. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you my truth. Is it the truth for you? Try it and see. Try it and see. Because in the end, even I am just a guidepost. You're still going to have to turn within and find your inner light. Find that flame that burns at the center of you and let it out. You can't keep that light hidden under a bushel basket. You can't. Not forever. Not without stifling who you are. Okay. That's enough preaching for me. I'm going to go and get ready to go to work and move on into the process of whatever it is that I'm going to deal with today. And then I'm going to come home and watch some more of the Olympics. Apparently we're going to get to watch, it's track and field all day. So, the prime time should be pretty interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, just the quick housekeeping. I'm going to remind you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. And I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias. An easy way to support the center is to go and engage with our social media. Go like, subscribe, follow, share, comment. It bumps us in the algorithms, and we think we have good stuff to say, to share. We really do want to help people. We want to be those guideposts. You know, we can't do it for you, but maybe we can give you a sign pointing you in the right direction. So we try and keep it light, bright, tight, and uplifting, because there's enough nonsense in the world. You don't need it from us, and we don't do that. So, all right. And then if you want more information about the center, the website is creativelife.org, and hang on. You can also get on the constant contact email. So the email is info@creativelife.org. You get one email a week, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want and the person that can help you get it. So try that out. Okay. And here we are. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a drink plenty of water day, a stay out of direct sunlight day, a get your stuff done day, a enjoy the Olympics because they're almost over day, a tell me what your favorite thing about the Olympics is. I particularly enjoy gymnastics, swimming, and watching the women run. Yeah, I love watching the men are fine too, but there is something about watching those strong women bodies move. Oh, just my favorite. I did run track in high school, so that's probably why. Let me get back on track and remind you to have a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. Okay? That's his term. We love it. Kind of like sapling, right? So I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m., provided I don't get distracted by the diving again. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.